my style of comedy isn't feel good comedy. So me getting second place is me getting second place is
But
like,
you know what, dude? It doesn't matter what style you have or what you do. The thing is, there's an audience for everyone.
oh yeah, we hope so.
So
All right, well,
that's neither here nor there, and you need to let that shit go, please.
uh,
Okay, sir?
who, me?
Please.
Let
Yeah,
what?
you. Yeah, you. Even though it's not feel good comedy, look, dude, you are amazing.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know, you my man. You my man. I love your work.
I love your work as well, and I thank you very much for the encouragement. Because no, but you know, I don't hold it against me. I like being me. So, but I also,
Good.
you know,
You should.
yeah, I do know when I'm dealing with an audience that needs to be pampered. So Molly's having tech issues, so she's gonna keep trying or whatever. So we're gonna get started here while she's texting me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why she is having problems with her. Try your phone.
Uh-oh.
Use your phone.
Hey, where is Molly now? I thought Molly was in New Zealand.
No, she's there. She's here. Well, and I'm hoping she can connect on here so she can explain herself. Okay. Why don't we get started here? I'm gonna kick off with our this is the track I use when Erie's not here. If you're too and so welcome to another terrible podcast by comics. I'm your host, one of your hosts, me and Dave, and it's good to see everybody here. Thanks for coming back to another Sunday. Erie is dealing with family issues, so normally Erie Diamond is my co-host. Unfortunately, she won't be here today, but filling in for her is my other lovely guest co-host, Jonathan Ott. Everybody, so give him a round of applause.
Hey. Thanks, guys. Good to know I'm lovely. I like it.
So we've got both of our guests here, but one of them's having technical difficulties. It sounds. Can you hear me, Molly? Okay, can you hear me, Molly? She can hear me, but that's different. That's new. But we can't hear you. I can tell you're talking, and we can't hear you at all. Do you have your volume or something turned up, like any input volume or any kind of QA issue or whatever? Worst case scenario, try hooking up with your phone, and not like making out with it. I mean, like try using your phone and get it linked up to the thing here. So Molly Sokhom is one of our guests here, and you can tell she's the one who's trying to talk, but we can't hear her. But our other guest of honor today is Tony Sparks, the one and only godfather of Bay Area comedy. Some of you, I think most of you, if not all of you, should know him by now. It's awesome to have Tony here. So it's great, and Molly will be hopefully heard when we get her back here. But so normally we start off kicking off the show with a little a segment that we call Listen Up, where basically this is where the show practices their listening skills. Because we when we started this podcast, Erie and I both had problems listening to people. We were always talking and then talking over one another. So we actually had to create a segment. It was my idea. I take full credit, but we had to create a segment specifically to practice shutting the fuck up and listening to our guests. And it's called Listen Up. And so basically all it is we have our guests tell us their life story in a brief 200 words roughly, just like the quickest version of your autobiography. Like I'll give John's been on the show. He knows the deal. John, give an example for Tony. What's your story up until this point?
I was raised on a farm with two crackhead parents. Then I got adopted, had a bunch of jobs, went through community college, fucking did a little bit of stand-up. Got a brain tumor. Here I fucking am.
There you go. Oh. Wonderful. That was even more brief than that was even more brief than normal. So but Tony Sparks, you've got, I mean, that's the thing is your story is vast. But please, you've done the show before. You were on the old podcast, our regular podcast version. So but what's your life story up until this point, Mr. Tony Sparks?
Okay, let's do super current stuff. The past, let's go for the past 3 years. Past 3 years, the Brainwash, one of the longest running open mics, shut down on me. I get really sick with diabetes, and I lose a toe. Uh, and then I found out there's other complications because of the diabetes. And I end up, I'm 3 months outside of open heart surgery. So I'm making the struggle to come back, and there's complications right now, unfortunately.
So we're going to talk to you more about that in just a second, because that's definitely something that we have questions about. So now,
and I apologize. I completely forgot about Jonathan and his brain surgery.
We're going to get into that. We got a whole segment.
Old news, Tony.
Just focused on the both of those things. So our next segment, though, is called, it's our, we're in COVID times. We've been in shelter in place, in this very awkward shelter in place, with both natural and human disasters happening every other fucking week since March. So we have a segment called "How Are You Holding Up Currently?" So it's just our little checking in to make sure to see if everybody's doing okay mentally. So I guess let's start with you, John. How are you holding up? So
Holding up pretty good. I don't know. I'm getting pretty used, especially I think the weather change. Since it's cold now, I like being inside more, so works out.
That was a very concise answer. This show is going to be over in 20 minutes. Tony, how are you holding up, sir?
You know what? Let me tell you, I'm glad that I'm going through all of this stuff, while the COVID thing is happening. I hate the fact that we're going through this, but I lost a lot of work last year when I had other operations. This year, I haven't necessarily lost any work because, I've had to go back in the hospital like 4 times since the initial major operation. So that's one thing that is kind of in our favor. The other, and some things are really working in my behalf. Like, for example, you know how you have to do the 6 feet apart thing when you're shopping? Okay, I don't know about you cats and kittens out there, but a lot of times people are up on my back trying to look in my pocket while I'm paying for shit. All right, they can't do that anymore. Fuck them. All right, so I love that. I love back the fuck up, motherfucker. And if, you ain't got to say that. All you got to do is just go, and they back the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what else. Oh, and this is another thing. Sometimes people don't understand that their breath is a little tart, a little scary. You know what I mean? I mean, some people, their breath smell like they've been eating zombies, and it stinks. Now they got to smell their own breath with the mask. All right, that is beautiful. And when else can me as a black man now go into a bank wearing a mask? Huh? What? No one says anything. I love that. In fact, they insist.
I was at a meeting yesterday, an AA meeting, and one of the biker guys was there's a lot of motorcyclists and Alcoholics Anonymous, oddly enough, and so he was saying that before, if he was wearing, because he wears face coverings for riding his motorcycle, and that they wouldn't let him in to some stores from time to time, unless he took that shit off. Now they won't let him in unless he's wearing that shit. So
exactly.
It's a obviously it's a very strange time in that regard.
I think it's wonderful. I'm sorry. I think it's wonderful, and I think that people were so bored that they actually cared about racism for a while. That was just crazy.
That was early in the pandemic, though. That was everybody was really sheltered in place. It was like it's got people have kind of not forgot, but it's like there's the momentum kind of got a little switched up.
When is that ever going to happen again, that they care about black people's civil rights and shit? And that's really kind of fucked up when you think about it. I mean, forever. I mean, we're still fighting for civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, civil, just being treated like a fucking human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up when
Yes.
you really think about it. Period. Seriously.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. I need to stop saying stuff that is kind of negative towards white people. No, because I mean, I've been getting in, I don't want to lose my fan base. I love white people.
Everybody here,
All right.
these are all people who know you, Tony, and love you. So you're in good company here. This is like you can think of this as like a support group. So more than a company show. So our next segment, and this is getting back to what we were just talking about briefly earlier. In this segment is so yeah, if Molly is able to jump in, she'll be jumping in for the next segment. Have any of you had life-altering surgeries where people came together to help you in your time of need? Jonathan, is that anything that's happened? No?
I've never had one of those. No. Yeah, I did. I had 2 brain surgeries. The last one was in February. And I was surprised. I was actually surprised that so many people showed up and showed their support. And I started a GoFundMe and shit. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really heartwarming to have that. It's weird when you get like to have your brain operated on, because that's you. You know what I mean? That's everything about you is from your brain. And I was worried it was going to affect my personality, but it's not in that area of my brain, I guess. It's back in like the motor cortex, so I may be falling all over myself and running into shit, but I'll still be a same old asshole you guys know and love.
Well, you were on steroids just because we hadn't kept in touch that much when after we found out that you had the surgery.
Yeah, I was on steroids.
And but no, once we reconnected, and I remember we went and got a burrito. We met up in the city, and you were aggressively talking to me. It was funny, and you were talking about being put on these steroids, and it was the first time I was thinking like, because you were saying like, yeah, I don't know if these have any effect on me or whatever. I'm like, I've never heard you talk this aggressively before. And they might be having some kind of an effect.
It's the only time I kind of empathize with like pregnant ladies, because I went to In-N-Out and I got like 3 cheeseburgers. I was like, oh, this is so good, and the third one tastes better than the first one. Like I don't know. The shit that they gave me.
Sorry, that's funny.
It's the shit that they're giving to people for COVID now. Dexamethasone. That steroid. That's the same thing that they're giving to people who got COVID now. It works.
Wow.
Tony.
Wow.
So, and I think you kind of answered this. So, Tony, have you had a life-altering surgery where people came together to help you in your time of need recently?
Of course. First of all, Jonathan, man, that is fucking brilliant. Hey, didn't you have an accent before you had brain surgery and shit? I thought you had like.
No, just
man, that was fucking. I'm sorry, but that steroid shit is hilarious to me. All right, and I'm not laughing at you, brother. I'm laughing with you. Okay.
Well, he knows.
Hey, dig these apples. Yeah. When I had the heart surgery, I gotta be honest with you, and I was scared as fuck, and I didn't think I was going to live through this thing. And thank God for. I'm trying not to cry, but thank God for the whole community, because my girlfriend put together a thing and everybody came together for me. And it was so, I can't believe that. I couldn't believe, if somebody had told me years ago something like this would happen, I was like, get the fuck out of here. But it really was very heartwarming and touching. And I mean, even to this day, even though I'm still having problems like with oxygen and stuff like that, oxygenation, it helped me. You guys helped me get an exercise bike. So, I mean, I haven't lost that much weight, like maybe 20 pounds or so, 25. But I have lost weight, and I'm in better shape now than I have been. But still, I have a ways to go.
You look great, I gotta say. I mean, I know we're just seeing each other through Zoom, but you look great and you sound great. And That was
Thank you.
one thing. We knew. I remember it. You were talking about it because before you had the surgery, you were doing some regular shows a lot with Kiko Breeze, doing Il Parada on Fridays, and doing. You had like daily Zoom meetings at noon where it was just hangouts with comics and stuff. And then you went in with the surgery, and Barbara, your friend Barbara, she was giving everybody updates on it. And then she posted that GoFundMe, and it was so funny because I remember when she posted it. She posted it at midnight on a Thursday. Okay, it was, and I remember what it was, and it's and I remember seeing it, and it said, they were hoping to raise $3,000 to help you when you came back. And I just remember saying, I remember I showed it to Nina G, and I said, like, she's posting it at midnight because I said it's really funny, but something tells me that like this is because normally when you post one of those things, you want to try to reach the most amount of people, all that stuff. Midnight's really not the time to post something if you want to get people's attention. Literally by 6 a.m. you had already reached the total. I think you had reached it reached like $5,000. And then and it kept going because it got shared by it wasn't just local comics, it was people who came from here. They shared it when it extended. And they ended up raising close to $20,000 for you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, baby.
It was in a weekend.
I'm trying not to.
Oh my God.
I'm so happy. I'm trying not to be all emotional, but
believe me, it's one of those things, Tony. It was a beautiful thing to see. It was. I remember I was looking at it. I'm like, Jesus, this is awesome. And it's just. But to be perfectly honest, like, again, like, people that know you, I want to say, like, I wasn't surprised. It was just sort of like, this is what I expected. Because,
well,
too much of yourself out.
I got to be honest with you, I was, but that was fantastic, though.
No,
that's great.
Yeah, it was really cool. So now let's play catch up. Molly, is your sound working?
Is it? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right.
Yes.
Molly Sokhom, everybody. She has made it here. And
sorry, guys. Sorry, I've missed some.
Not at all. No need to apologize. These things happen. And so we're going to have a quick little catch up with you, Molly, so you can catch up to speed with the rest of these guys here. So again, we have our little segment, Listen Up. Molly, please give us your biography in a roughly about 200 words or less. Tell us your life story. Go ahead.
Great, Dave. All right, guys.
No pressure. No pressure.
What the fuck? I want to, dude. Can I just say hi to everybody first?
No.
Can I say hi to Tony? Jesus Christ.
Hey, sugar.
Listen, thank you. I needed to hear Sugar Boo from you, Tony. Miss you. All right. So listen, I was a Bay Area comic, and then my ass moved to New Zealand almost 6 years ago. And now I'm back. And basically that is my life now. This is what's happening. That is what's happening. I did comedy in New Zealand. I started comedy with Tony. Tony, you were one of the first people that really, we started. That was like probably 11, 12 years ago already.
Yeah.
You know this, right? This is
But I didn't know I was your first.
Well,
that's great.
In that year, the first year of getting everything going, we always the brainwash and everything, and but anyways, so and I'm back home living with my parents.
And home is where?
And here in the Bay Area, Union City, California.
Wanted to rub it in my parents' face now that they're in a car in Ukiah. Their Wi-Fi's out, so now they look like they're soliciting for prostitutes right now. So your next question, Molly, is because these are questions everybody else already answered.
Wait, excuse me, let me interrupt for just a second.
Go for it.
Molly, why did you come back?
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. That's the next segment. But before that, Molly, how are you holding up? How are you holding up currently?
What do you think, Dave? What do you think? Okay, every day is just me thinking of all just regrets for days. Every day is like, why the fuck? All right. So my ass got back here December 23rd. I wanted to get back, visit my parents, you know, see friends again that I haven't seen in years, and just reconnect with people, actually start living. Like, I wanted to make my life back here, back here in the Bay, you know, and do all these crazy things. And then the shit hit the fan in February. I had 6 gigs in February. I was like, all right, we're getting back into the rhythm of performing. And then shit happened.
Yeah.
And now every day I want to cry. And I'm almost 40, and I moved back home with my parents. And I got a cat. And that is the only fucking thing that's new.
Hey, I was living like that. I was living like that right at your age, just before, you know, I got out, right before I turned 40. But it was after 6 years of being at my parents' house back in Union City.
That's amazing.
We were neighbors.
It's amazing that you guys are this old.
Yeah, exactly. And still alive. No,
I'm at my parents too, if it helps.
yeah.
I'm the
one.
John,
I'm the only one who's out of the house. My house, the tables have fucking turned. This is great. But no,
okay, my oldest brother is 91. So if I live with my parents, they'd be like 120. Shit.
Molly started, because Molly was already in comedy about a couple of years, it seemed like, because I started in 2010, and Molly ran a show literally around the corner from my parents' old house in Union City at a place called Patty's Coffee. And
yes. Patty's.
And that's how I met Molly somewhat through that, maybe like Il Parada. I met you maybe through like Kiko Breeze a little bit, through doing maybe 7 Mile House or something together. But
yes.
And then what happened was I wasn't in the scene enough to get booked on Molly's show right away. What happened was one night I went over there to go hang out because I knew there was a show, and Kasim Bentley was marching back and forth outside. And I was like, and he goes, "What are you doing here? Are you on the show?" I said, "No, I'm just came to check it out." And Kasim goes, "Well, Big Al Gonzalez, he bailed. So why don't you ask Molly for a guest set?" And I said, "Well, I don't know about that." And I didn't, you know, at the time I was like very prideful, and I'm like, I don't ask people for guest sets. I just come here. If I want to hang out, I'm going to hang out, you know, and I don't want anything.
Please tell me I gave it to you. Did
you
you go
did.
up?
No, I went inside and I said, "Hey, Molly, how's it going?" And you said, "Great." And I said, "Kasim told me that Big Al didn't show up. So if there's a chance of getting a guest set, that'd be great, but no worries if not." And you gave me a guest set. And
what a flaker, Big Al. What the fuck?
No, Big Al. Glad he's gone. Glad he's gone.
Big Al is doing great in Texas right now, in San Antonio. He is making it go down. And also, did I ever do your show in Union City, Molly?
Yes, you did, Tony. And you know, we had a thing. We had a thing like you would not get off the whole I want to MC the night, right?
Yes.
And I had to tell him, "No, Tony, that's my gig. I'm going to MC it. You're going to do a set." And Tony, I'm not going to lie, I think this was your first goddamn set that you were part of a lineup and did not host. For real, Tony. I am not lying. There was a whole back and forth with it. I said, "Tony, you're in the lineup. You're not going to host it." I think that was like one of the first gigs ever that you had
probably.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to lie. I was trying to say no.
He says
that night I got lost like a motherfucker. On the way home, I got lost. I was fucking
trying to get home.
And like Oakland, like on 190th and something, I was scared as shit.
It's not that hard.
Need to be. You don't need to be. You're in Union City. This is nothing scary here.
I was scared everywhere else other than Union City. Trust me.
It's one freeway home. All right, this is the segment we were trying to catch up to speed so that Molly can answer this. So this next segment was, did any of you move to New Zealand and live happily there, and then just recently moved back to the U.S. right before the pandemic hit and regret it? That's pretty much let me see. I got a background for this segment too. It's a perfect background for this segment. Hang on. Where are you? There you are. Perfect segment right there. So, Tony, John, did you move to New Zealand at all and live there happily and then move back right before all this COVID hit and New Zealand has no cases and are living happily? No? Okay. What about you, Molly?
You fucker.
So
I
you were laughing about this.
That's funny.
You were laughing about this.
yeah,
Talk
you were
a
laughing
little
at
bit.
me. You were laughing at me a lot. Look, I want to be one of little hobbits, just like on that Shire right now, just like roaming around with the little lambs.
Tell us about New Zealand though, because you were living there for 6 years. Like, what was what was all that like?
Damn. Listen, okay. I'm just gonna tell you right now, if things go the wrong way, in what, 2 days, I got my finger on the button to get flights back to New Zealand. Because you know why? I'm a permanent resident, so I can move back to New Zealand whenever. Okay, I can take my whole family.
Why are you even not doing that?
And that was the big question. Well, that was the big question by everybody. Like, why are you here when you had the chance? Well, I was like, well, I had some kind of hope. I had a little hope that things were gonna be okay, right, John? Yeah,
no hope.
Yeah,
Don't do it. Not in America.
I know.
I would have moved back as soon as those gigs got canceled in March.
I know. I should have. You know what? And the thing is that life in New Zealand is everything's all dandy. Everything's fine. My friends keep posting packed out shows. Every freaking club is sold out. Even open mics at the bars are like, damn, we got 20 people in here. I'm like,
breathing on each other.
Stop,
Yeah. Making out in public with strangers. Yeah, they're doing all kinds of they're living fine.
It's like normal. And this thing, I talk to New Zealand friends every day, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just, we're just trying to get gigs, and we just went to a competition, and we're trying to do acting. I'm like, fuck you. Shut up.
We're
Just
peeing
shut
in
up.
each other's mouths.
Listen,
there's no COVID.
This was a news story. Okay, now New Zealand has 4.9 million people, the whole population of the country, right? 4.9 million. Okay. The news story today was 2 new COVID cases. That's it. 2. That was a headline on their news. That was the new, like another headline would be, low stock of chocolate milk. That would be another one. Like, it is not. Their news is a lot different than ours, And I talked to them and I said, hey, we had some crazy wildfires. We had an orange sky, and they're like, oh really? Oh my God. We had the biggest Halloween this year. Like that's fucking kids are celebrating American holidays, They're just
they've got Kiwi
the
privilege
right now.
They got Kiwi privilege. That's what we
Kiwi privilege. We're gonna say that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, regardless, it's glad you even brought that up because that's part of our next segment. Before I continue on with our segments, also, we as you know very well, Erie's not here, which means that her Venmo's not here. So if you wish to donate to tonight's audience, you can Venmo me directly at Mean Dave. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Mean Dave -225 right there. To donate tonight's comics to donate to tonight's comics. All right, and that gets the begging out of the way. So the next segment, as Molly was saying, because she it basically what happens on Tuesday determines whether or not she may or may not stick around. So how does everyone feel about the election this week? So Tony, what are your thoughts going on with the election?
Well, okay, what I'm going to say isn't very popular. I have this odd feeling because I'll have voted by tomorrow, but I have this really odd feeling that we're gonna have
oh, Tony, don't do it.
Trump a little bit longer. I'm sorry.
Fingers crossed. You never know. I mean, you never know.
Okay, so I've been traveling around. I was in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Oregon. I've been going to all these different towns. So a couple. I was in Texas. I don't know. Anyway, all I know is this. This is the thing that's important. There were so many very open and very blatant Trump supporters, more so than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're out here too.
Yeah, and this, and this is the thing. When he won the last time, there were people that I know that they didn't tell anybody, but I happened to overhear them. And what do they say? I'm voting for Trump. Like, wow, really? This my thing is that like, come on, dude. Like any other cat doing the shit that they'd be in jail right now. And this guy is walking out free, and he's the leader of the free world. That's amazing to me. I mean, like, Obama couldn't have gotten away with any of this shit.
No.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But
it's
looking online. There are a significant amount of people also who were Trump supporters who then have been very public about voting Biden and all that. It's basically the bottom line is it's going to be close. They were hoping that there's no way around it. It's not going to be close. I think I read comedian Joe Klosick. I think he had one of the best predictions of what's going to happen in that they're going to, based on whatever returns or whatever, they're going to forecast Trump. But in the end, after ballots, like all the take-home ballots or whatever, it'll actually be Biden, and then he's going to contest it all the way up until inauguration, and then quietly leave the country to escape prosecution. So that was
wow.
Yeah, that was the summary. Because what's funny is I think that there's a lot of noise from Camp Trump, but I'm curious. But the numbers, because I've also seen the numbers weren't as big as the last time, and a lot of time these elections are all decided by people who aren't out there marching with flags. It's usually it's decided by a lot of people who are quietly at home resenting all of the people behaving like assholes. Because that's how Trump got in office, was by a lot of people who weren't very vocal about it, and the people that are the most vocal about it probably are not making it that attractive. But there are people. Yeah, it's weird. I got two uncles who are the youngest uncles on my dad's side of the family, and they both are voting for Trump, which is very surprising. Because yes, Mom, Uncle Lewis and Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil is a Marine, so I'm not surprised there. The ironic thing that these guys are Trump supporters, and I told my dad, who is oddly enough, my dad, well-off dude, is not pro-Trump. One of the few years he's not voting Republican, and then he said it's very funny that those two guys are pro-Trump when they've never paid me back the money that I loaned them. So gotta love my dad. He's like, yeah, these guys are taking handouts left and right and have no problem, not paying back this money, and then they want to vote for this asshole. I'm like, well, that definitely, he's a guy that does the same shit. So, John, what are your thoughts here on the shit show this week?
I don't know, man. I just try to vote for the smartest person. And that, I think, comes up a lot. I mean, we have two geriatric white men. I don't know what, you know what I mean? It's like our choices aren't that great either way. But yeah, I just try to vote for the smartest person. And Trump is clearly the fucking dumber of the two. And so, I mean, I don't think there's so many things wrong with this country that I don't think the presidential vote matters actually that much, because the president doesn't have that much control besides like executive orders.
Yeah. They want it. To me, the election, I've said this for, I don't know, well over 20 years, that politics are more like wrestling.
Right.
I always say like politics and sports are more like wrestling than wrestling is, because I think the outcomes are more predetermined.
Right. And I think we talked about that, how it's like there's Republicans and Democrat, and everybody subscribes to a party, and then they just fucking root for their team.
Here's the other thing too. Is it's designed to divide you. Notice how like it's escalated. It's been a lot like the same in sports, where it's an us versus them mentality, and it keeps getting so seething. But if you take these two groups and say the thing that all of the elite fear most is if people at our level actually put it together on both sides. Imagine, if you will, people all in the middle to lower class realizing that we're being played, and if they were to like get over their differences, from everybody from the Proud Boys to Black Lives Matter, actually work together, it would scare the shit out of every single one of these motherfuckers. You would watch every single one of these rich bastards run like roaches with the lights on and try to hide behind whatever military might that they would to shut us down. And that's
meanwhile, it's like the purge in the streets right now, and they're just sitting back in their towers.
it's just a strange thing because you got people that are like marching in the streets with their guns in some states, scared that they're going to try to take away their guns with Biden. I'm like, you're marching your streets with guns. Who do you think's going to take them from you, motherfucker? Like that, the cops are wanting you to do that. So anyway, Molly, what's your thoughts on the shit show coming up?
I'm just happy that I am living in a household where we all agree. We're all on the same page. Okay. Because that would have been another story. That would have been like my ass would have been back already. But I'm happy that my dad is on the same side here. But finding out, listen, now we are, Cambodian Americans here, and finding out, okay, first of all, 2020 was not just the year of the pandemic. 2020 was the year that my dad got Facebook. All right. So my 72-year-old dad is on Facebook. And so he's finding that his friends, Cambodian friends, family friends, old school family friends are Trump supporters. And I'm like, what the fuck? What did they ever do and help you? Jimmy Carter was the one who helped us come to this country as refugees.
And they kicked him out after one term, which was, I remember saying this, like, what's funny about being president is that you get blamed for just whatever happens during your presidency.
Exactly.
Even if it's coincidental or if it was outside of your control. And everybody always talks about how great a dude Jimmy Carter was, yet he had one term, all because they didn't like the way it looked and how he handled the Iran terrorist, like it was the Pan Am shit or whatever the fuck it was. It was a terrorist thing that happened. And they were like, he made us look like a bitch. He's out of there, and so they like Trump because he acts like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin in fucking office. I'd rather have Stone Cold Steve Austin, quite frankly. He seems to have his shit together more, but so all right.
Yeah. So you know where I'm at.
Yes, exactly.
You're in the home office, Molly.
Literally.
That's where you're at. Your dad said, hey, yo, replace the printer cartridge, Molly.
Exactly. And any minute now he's gonna walk in here with his boxer shorts on, just interrupting. All right. And just making sure nobody's seen his dick. Like that's what his
he's like Luis.
I'm serious. Did I lock the door actually? I didn't. It could be a fun surprise. It could be a fun surprise.
All right, I got to call an audible here because I forgot about a subject that. What the fuck? Hang on a second here. I gotta get an image. Talk amongst yourselves.
What?
What the fuck? Why is this not working? When Google doesn't do what you want it to do, it makes you want to just throw your computer in the garbage. Let's see here.
All right. Well, now John has the brainwash in this background, right?
Yeah.
John. Now I know Tony has a million of these stories, but what is your top weirdest moments at the brainwash?
Good question.
There's been so many, I guess, occurrences of where that is on Harrison Street, right, Tony?
No,
it's on
brainwash was on Folsom.
Folsom. Having just having crackheads bust in when people are doing their sets and fucking, and you're like, all right, you gotta leave. Just a lot of those. I had a good time there.
Half of them would sign up for the open mic.
Oh yeah.
And Tony let him on.
You guys remember the guy? You guys remember the guy we used to call Gay Thor? We used to call him Goldilocks and shit.
I don't remember Goldilocks.
I remember that name, Goldilocks.
Sweet Gail is the one that I think was most known.
We only know Sweet Gail, but
okay, he never got out on stage. He would help me produce certain shows. At any rate, one of the things this guy was amazing.
I think I do remember. I think I do remember this guy. I remember, yeah.
Okay, he was amazing when it came to getting people out that were kind of jacked up. Because the one thing that was really, there would be varying degrees whether someone was some really young little preppy kid or some cat that thought he was a gangster, or whether it was just an older guy who was this close to committing suicide. there was always someone really like completely obliterated, fucked up, and they wanted to get on stage. But this is the thing, I don't like fucking with people like that. You can get on stage, but you got to wait your turn. Well, they never wanted to wait their turn. Well, my man, Gay Thor, was amazing because he would pull people to the side. He would speak to them very calmly. And then they would look at me, wave goodbye, and leave. It was amazing. Yes. Yes. It was amazing. And I didn't handle stuff well. I mean, I can admit to some of this stuff now. There was this really scary, like skinny dude with a dog or something. And he was really pushy and being a dick. And I threatened to like I was going to fight him. And everybody in the audience just kind of freaked out because I didn't think they saw me, but I jumped at him like that. And I'm not fucking scary. I'm a fat, old, doughy fucker. Anyway, but it scared the shit out of him. And they eventually got him out. And when he walked down the street, he was caught. I don't know what he said or did, but next thing I know, this guy's in cuffs. So, yeah.
I've seen Tony be scary. Long before, like I Tony knows this story too, but I don't know if you remember the story, but I have seen you be scary. There was a open micer who got in your or was trying to get in your face one night.
Right.
You remember him, Matt Weinstein? He was a short, bald dude. Because this was the infamous butter knife night where you.
Okay. Where I grabbed 3 butter knives and went at him.
You grabbed the butter knife. Basically,
butter him up.
Now, anybody who's been to the Thursday night open mic, this was before like the mic was like more almost every day, but there was only Thursday night. And there, if you weren't signed up, basically if you were signed up and you were numbers 1 through 30, you most likely would get up. If you're after 30, there's a good chance you're not going to get up because there's people who run through, they bump, that you get bumped for or whatever. It's just how it is. And this dude rolled up late, or he was signed up, and he was in the late 30s or whatever. I was in there too, and we kind of all knew it's like if you're in that part, you may not get up. And so he
definitely wasn't going to get up.
No, he wasn't. He was drinking throughout the night, and he was this little bald dude who was like a little deadpan guy, and he basically went up to Tony. We didn't even see this go down. He walked up to him. And he basically got in because all we heard was a glass break, and Tony basically told him to get the fuck out of here. And there was a look in Tony's eyes I've never seen before. Just a fire where it was basically like if Tony, like prison Tony, I would say prison, like it was prison Tony. Fire, wide eyes, get the fuck out of brainwash, and he looked on the counter and he grabbed this butter knife. And luckily there were comics like Juan Medina and a few others were there because Juan grabbed Weinstein and dragged him out of there, and some people held Tony away, and we thought that was the end of it. But then later on, after we were closing up and we were all leaving, this dude ended up coming back with this other shithead, Siraj. I remember he was a moron that used to hang out too. And I walked them away. I made sure they were gone, and these morons came back. And Tony had a cooler head on him, and was going to try to explain everything. Why this dude was not, whatever the fuck. And before he even had a chance, there was another comedian, Darian Black, who was kind of a shady dude. And he came out of nowhere and sucker punched Matt Weinstein
on the top of his fucking head.
Yeah, and
on the top of his fucking head.
Yeah,
and the dude went down like straight down. He went down like he was fucking like a soul artist from the '60s doing the drop top. The motherfucker went boom, went down, spin around, came back up like a fucking weevil. And walked in the other direction. And I never saw
everybody
again. Lord.
Everybody separated. It was
fucking whack-a-mole.
Good Lord.
Beautiful.
Can I just say thank God for like ladies' nights on Tuesdays? Thank fucking God.
That was Wednesday, I thought. But yeah.
Was it Wednesday?
It was Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
It was Wednesday.
Lord.
But let me tell you something. That's another thing. I tried so hard to get an all ladies comedy night. I tried
Mm.
before it actually happened. I tried 2 other times to make it happen, and the ladies didn't want to host. I couldn't get a lady to host it. I couldn't get ladies to come, and it was just really tough. And then I got complaints from male comics that would not show their face or anything. Why are you doing this? And I go like, why not? What the fuck is the fucking problem? Then when I finally got it going, what was the woman's name? Gail or something like that?
Sweet
Who ended
Gail.
up hosting? Not Sweet Gail.
Not
Nope,
Sweet
nope,
Gail.
nope. No, it was another
You
Gail.
mean-
It was
Kate, you
It was
mean Caitlin Gill?
no, it was Gail.
No.
There was a woman named Gail who
Oh, this is
used
later.
to be in
Later.
a punk band in the late 70s in New York City, and she was the host. And she started just trashing the place. And so I had to fire her. And then Caitlin came in.
Cristiano was running it when I was doing. I remember Cristiano.
And then there was the end of it was, I forgot the girl's name, but she dated something the young Vance guy for a little while.
Oh, was the name Melanie? It was Melanie or something.
Melanie something.
Yeah, she was kind of insane too.
Melanie O'Brien.
Yeah, that's right. She was insane. She went nuts.
Yeah, and so and she would take any drug known to man. If you just handed her something, she would pop it in her mouth. She didn't give a damn.
Yeah, no,
she did not give a fuck.
She had some insane issues that I was.
Anyway, so she got angry and because she wanted to do shit like drop her pants and shit like that, and she was like telling women they couldn't get on stage. She was really power playing it, like shit was unnecessary. And she got really mad and she took her beer and threw it at the guy behind the counter. And you ain't coming back in no more, bitch. And she ended it for everybody. The guy, Jeff, who owned the place, he was like, I don't ever want a ladies' comedy here anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was all her.
Tony, you just, man, moved at the wrong time for me. I would have took that shit on Tony.
But the truth be told, the fact is though, even though that may have ended that night, but every Thursday and even that became regular practice for any open mic, women would always sign up first. You always did.
Yeah, women signed up first.
It's one of the things that when I got in it, because a lot of granted, I know that it's been difficult for anybody who, if you're a woman, if you are part of like the LGBTQ community, sometimes in the Bay Area, there's definitely places where you may not feel like a part of things are included right away. But in San Francisco, ever since I started in 2010, it was always doing its best to champion women comics and diversity from the beginning. And
well, I got to be honest with you. You came in after me fighting for a long time, brother. When I got to be honest with you, the San Francisco that you guys see, that's kind to gay people, that's kind to women, that I would say that's accepting of black people. Yeah. That was some fucking bullshit. Yeah. When I got here, fuck this. This town can suck my fucking dick on that. They can lick my goddamn newly shaved ball sack. Fuck them.
Right. You got that on record. All right.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you something. I worked really hard because this is the deal. I got fucked over so bad that I said I'm never gonna let this happen to any. That's why I think the brainwash worked. I said I'm never gonna let this happen to somebody under my fucking watch. You remember how I used to say, if you're not gonna applaud, if you're not gonna be part of the movement forward, get the fuck out of here. All right. Later for that bullshit, it's all about us supporting one another and making this shit work. All right, because you don't know who's gonna be famous. And so and I've noticed that when people would be negative and fucked up and try to fuck people over, they were gone. Boom, that was it. Yeah. It's like the shit that you throw on people is gonna fucking boomerang back on you tenfold. So I said, don't do that shit no more. Don't come into my house with this bullshit. Okay.
Even
if somebody sucked ass, I would never kill their fucking dream.
No,
I would clown the shit out of them, but I would never kill their dream.
That was the thing. What really sucked. One of the coolest things about Brainwash was that was a place where it was a goal of mine to just do decent there, because I knew how difficult it was, and slowly but surely it took me a lot longer than some other local comics to get any kind of consistency and momentum going, of just being, because I built a reputation of being a shitty on stage, not so much a bad comedian, but all just being an asshole on stage. And it took me, I would notice that I was doing better when if you noticed, or like people, because we didn't remember, I always joke that you didn't like me coming around. You're like, who's this mean Dave motherfucker? Oh, this guy. This is the guy with no
I don't
jokes.
remember that, but okay.
Yeah, this is the guy with no jokes. No, the whole first year, it wasn't until you saw me at Ireland's 32 to a really shitty audience. I always tended to do better when I was performing in shitty places, because I felt like there was something to prove, and I just enjoyed chaos. I would
Right.
genuinely thrive on that. And so I would have a better set. And then you saw one of those and you were impressed. And that was the beginning of like I say, you, DNA in Santa Cruz. There was, I would even say Mike Spiegelman in Oakland when he was running the layover.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah,
Layover,
there were
yes.
people that saw me slowly but surely get better. And I could tell that, like, because I wasn't like kissing your asses or anything. It was just like, you guys
No, not at all.
helping me. And you were then you would offer advice, and you would even offer like, you were the one who directed me to Kiko Breeze and Juan Carlos to get my first paid gigs. And
really?
Yeah. And
Look at that, Tony. Look at that.
One of the coolest things was
over
time, one of the things, and it's funny because like people talk about this with like the Comedy Store, they talk about this with the Comedy Cellar in New York. For me, Brainwash was the place where when I started, I would see who was the legit comics when they would come in, and they'd go right up. All right. Like, these are the guys that work at Punchline, or they're in from out of town or whatever. You knew who they were, and they were funny. Like, you bumped whoever was on the fucking lineup, and they would go up and do their set or whatever. And probably somewhere around 2014 to 2015 was when I would roll in, just kind of like, to hang out or something. I like to come in late at the end of the night when there was very few people there. It was the end of the open mic, and you would always put me up. And then not only that, then in the years in 2015 to 17, that was when I could literally walk up there. And I was one of those guys where I would walk up just to hang out, and you're like, you want to go up? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. And that was my Comedy Store, and not only that, didn't mean that you were going to have a good set either. It was like, because you give me the big build up, and then it's like, oh, that's right, this is Brainwash on a Thursday. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me tell you the thing that used to really fuck me up. People used to say to me, and I didn't realize this, if your joke gets like a titter at the Brainwash, it's going to get a huge fucking laugh everywhere else. That audience was not, they were not, they were there to laugh, but they were not easily impressed.
No, and that's the thing. It's like, we're here to do laundry and hear good jokes, motherfucker, for free.
Exactly.
You better be good. Like, that's how they work.
Exactly. They did not fuck around, Jack.
No.
And you know what? And for a long time, every fucking full moon that the show happened on a full moon, a transgender person would come in and want to start some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going on stage next. Like that. Like, oh no, you can't.
You got the
transgender. So hilarious.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Tony, when I tell New Zealanders about comedy in the Bay, and I think I sent a couple Kiwis out to do shows at the Brainwash too. I'm pretty sure of this.
Oh, wow.
But I used to tell them, oh yeah, we sign up at 6:30, blah, blah, blah. We're on the lineup. I could be number 24 on the list. And they're just like, 24 people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they are shocked. And they're like, what is that? Why are we in a line? So they're hella spoiled over there.
Oh, yeah.
Hella
Oh, my God.
spoiled.
They got no code, no lines at their open
They're like,
mic.
and we're, if they get, 6 minutes, they're like, 6 minutes? Can you give me more time? Please. Okay. We got 4 minutes, fuckers. 4 minutes. You got 4 minutes to make
Exactly.
people, or 3, okay?
Exactly.
And these
You went
guys,
down to 3.
and open mic over there, guys. We can do 6 to 7, depend, you know. Remember, also a 4.9 million population, so I gotta keep bringing that up.
I want to.
And on Thursdays it would average about 50 comics.
It would be, yeah,
Crazy.
No, totally.
It was a good night when we got in a little over 50 people on a Thursday.
I wanted to point out, this is not the bathroom, but I have this bathroom background out of homage, because one of the other great things about the Brainwash Cafe was it was one of the few places you could walk into and use a single stall bathroom that locked, no problem, no questions asked. Rarely was anybody in there too long, you know, shooting heroin or anything like that. And they all had like interesting things on the walls to read. Those were great places that saved my ass literally in San Francisco. So I just want to pay homage to the Brainwash bathroom.
Yes. Yes, this is one comic that used to say it looked like in the inside the bathroom looked like a scene from Saw, the movie Saw.
A little bit.
So we got to wrap up. The one thing I did want to just say, because this was what I was trying to find really quick, but I don't really even think we have time to. I mean, it's not like I don't like keeping people too long, but there's one dude who died. You guys may know who he is. You may have heard of
Sean
him.
Connery.
Yeah, here's my picture. I'm sorry, I totally forgot that I didn't upload it yet. It's right here. Here he is. There's the guy. And so he died. He's 90. And everybody just now found a 13-year-old video where he said it was okay to slap women. Is it okay to grieve for an actor if he says some stupid shit 13 years, or that was uploaded 13 years ago on YouTube? I guess that's the question I want to ask you.
Well, one of the things too, you gotta he might have been fucking around. Maybe it was taken out of context.
Good point. I never even watched the video. I've heard he's an asshole in general anyway.
And see that happens a lot. Shit get taken out of context, and you know, you blame people. And we live in a really interesting time that, like, as human beings, if we are open and listening, we grow and develop. We change over time.
Not out of context. Aaron's saying it's not out of context. He said, my buddy Aaron.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said it was okay to slap women.
Oh, wow.
Barbara Wallace called him out.
I always thought that when you leave this mortal coil, people always say good things about you, even if you were a piece of shit.
That's what I was wondering.
I know that once my second ex-wife dies, I'm going to be really, really like, oh, she was such a great person. I'm going to lie.
There's definitely something there, because I'm like, I've known a lot of shitty people who've died, and we still grieve for them okay, and didn't have to bring up their worst and it just seems to be like common practice for social media these days. It's like, somebody died. Let's go comb YouTube for some
also a cultural thing.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like, isn't that like culture right now, society right now? It's like, not even when they die, just everybody's trying to find dirt on everybody else.
I just wonder, what are you going to do? You're going to cancel a dead guy who wasn't even working anyway? I mean, he was retired, for fuck's sake. You know, it's like, you're not going to get his money back from his 007 movies. So
cancel that wife beater.
Well, anyway, that was just the last thing I wanted to bring up. We are at the end of our show, but you guys have any last words there that you want to offer, John?
Oh, I do. I want to say thank you, Tony. You're awesome. I had a lot of great times with the Brainwash, and good luck in all your endeavors, man. Everybody loves you out here.
Totally.
And welcome back to Molly. Welcome back.
Oh,
if she stays.
Yeah. Change that filter cartridge, though.
That's funny.
Also, by the way, John is starting a new show this Thursday. It actually will be at 8:00 right after the comedian show and tell that we do with Nina G. That'll be a fun, interactive comedy show with him, myself, FC Sierra. I think Nina G and Clay Newman are on it, and it's somewhat of almost like a powwow comedy show. So you're welcome to join us for that. Tony, any last words or thoughts?
Really quickly, Jonathan, very, very good to see you. I think that you have some great strengths, and I think that you should look into doing sketch stuff, because I think you would be a phenomenal character actor. Okay, watching you.
He's
Okay,
done improv.
okay.
Actually, he has.
So
Yeah.
really think about that, and really think about writing your own little sketches and doing them, and maybe selling them through YouTube and gaining a following that way, because you have something special. Molly, you are maturing into a very beautiful and wonderful, incredible woman. I really like what I'm seeing from you, and I really hope I get to see you again and give you a big giant hug. All right.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
Thank
Oh,
you. Thank you. And Dave,
Yes.
you are my man. You are my man, 12 grand. You will always be my man, my brother. You are the king, the high exalted ruler as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And thank you, community. Rebecca's like, nah.
Oh,
Anyway,
she loves it. You kidding me? That's my mom. She loves this shit.
I know. She's like, you don't know. This guy stinks.
Oh,
Anyway.
I want to thank everybody too. Kim, Deneen, Luis, and my parents. Thank you for donating.
Yes, thank all you guys.
Molly, any last words, Molly?
Dave, thanks for having me on. I want to say hi to your mom. It's been years. Hi. And Tony, you've been great. I have hope that things are going to turn around, and I really want to get back on a Bay Area stage. Like, seriously, put me on. I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm ready.
got you. I got you very soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Get her on
Very soon.
Hi, John.
a funny show in Oakland. They're doing shows at the Copper Spoon. So yeah, I'll mention it.
Yeah.
We can do something, get that together. All right, you guys, let's get this over with so my parents don't have to be in a shady parking lot in Ukiah anymore when we get back to their house. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been another terrible podcast by comics. You guys are awesome. We will see you Thursday for the show and tell if you come to that, and we'll see you next week as well. Thanks again, everybody.
Hi.
Good night.
Night.
Get the seatbelts on, Mom. All right, cool. Catch you soon, Tony.
See ya.
Hey, send me your Venmo.
Okay.